What is up, you guys? This is your boy and the Matrix. I talk about anime, manga, video games, geek culture, and Japanese culture. So today, I am going to react to a video from penguinz0, or is it penguinz0? Man, I don't know. The point is, he made a really interesting point about anime, and I wanted to talk about it because it's something that's been on my mind since last year, right? And this is after I watched Tokyo Revengers. Now, Tokyo Revengers is a really cool anime, but there was something about the anime, and it made me really think about other anime as to why anime characters are the way they are, and we're gonna get into shortly. But I'm gonna play the video by penguinz0. The name of the video is "The Things I Hate About Anime." It's an unpopular opinion, so put your guard up, put your dukes up. Or actually, put your dukes down, and we're gonna listen, and I'm gonna, do some criticism, and I'm going to agree and disagree with some of the things that he say. Now, so let's go ahead and play the video and hear what he has to say.
Video I've debated making for the last week or so. For the first time in the 15 years I've been on YouTube, it's a video that I've actually been afraid to make because it's a dangerous topic. It's touchy. It's anime.
It's a dangerous topic. It's anime.
And anime fans can get wild. They always say war is hell, but I think war is child's play compared to an argument with a weeb.
That is true. That is true. I'm guilty of that too. And I mean, when you argue with a weeb about anime, it's like it's a bit of a struggle sometimes, not gonna lie.
I also recently learned about antimatter, and it's the only thing in the universe that releases 100% of its energy in like this devastating explosion. And that's also wrong because weebs do that too when they find out that you don't like their favorite waifu.
I don't know about the waifu thing, but okay.
The point I'm making is things can get very ugly when you criticize or talk about anime negatively. Expect an unholy, diabolical meltdown on Twitter attacking you for weeks for it. I still, to this day, have not heard the end of how wrong I am for not liking JoJo's Part 3 and 4 as much as I liked Parts 1 and 2.
Now, as far as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, honestly, guys, I've never liked JoJo. Never been into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I mentioned that a single time in a video over a year ago. So let that shit sink in. For what it's worth, I just finished Part 5. That shit slapped. Part 5 was great. So let's get to what I want to talk about today. The main thing that I just dislike about anime. I'm sure all of you know by now, but I watch a lot of anime. You could probably guess that just by taking a single glance at me. If I walk by you in public, you would probably assume that I watched anime just by the way I look.
Are you making a stereotype about Asians? I mean, is he Asian? I don't really know his ethnicity, but I wouldn't say looking at him personally, but maybe looking at some of his posters in the background, I would say he's into like video games and anime.
I stared too long into the abyss of anime, and it stared back into me. I even bought a body pillow at one point, so, God bless. But the thing is, no matter how...
I have a friend with a body pillow. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I prefer a real woman.
How much anime I watch, there is one thing that always makes me uncomfortable with how common it is in the medium. And you probably already know what I'm going to bring up. It's anime's fixation on making all of the characters kids or very kid-like for no reason. Now, I'm not specifically talking about lollies. I'm sure you know what lollies are. If you don't, all power to you. Your innocence is intact. But I'll go ahead and ruin Christmas for you. Lollies are an anime where they have a character that looks like a child, but is actually a 4,000-year-old dragon cum vampire who's highly sexualized but looks like a child. They're called lollies.
Did he say dragon cum vampire? Like cum? Like C-U-M?
They're not actually children because in the show they're supposed to be much older, but they look like kids, and it's pretty weird. That shit's always going to be weird to me, but it's not even exactly what I'm focusing on here. I'm talking about in the shows where they just actually outright make them children. For example, Tokyo Revengers. It's a show I really like. It's a show I moist-metered recently. The first season wrapped up. I gave it like a 90%. I thought the show was fantastic.
Yeah, Tokyo Revengers is pretty dope. It's a pretty cool isekai. I mean, I don't know if I should call it an isekai, but like, The way the guy time travels into the past, definitely isekai. Anyways, let's hear him.
But in the show, all of the characters are middle schoolers. And it does nothing for the plot because they're middle schoolers, but you never see their parents. Their schools don't have any effect on the plot at all. Sometimes they'll be in school, but they immediately leave, so it's not like integral to the plot at all. Most of the time, they just don't go, and that's not even a plot point like, oh, I'm skipping school, I'm fucking dope and breaking rules, I'm a bad boy. It is literally them just middle schoolers, but they're basically just adults anyway. They have...
Yes, and this is where I wanted to get to the part of this video, is that this is very common with anime. It's like Tokyo Revengers. I love the anime. Like, it's great. It's a great storyline. But it's like, as I was watching the anime, I was like, wait, how come they're all in middle school? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, most kids, especially here in America, most kids do not start gangs until they're, like, in high school. You know? But in Tokyo Revengers, they're, like, riding motorcycles, and they're, like, breaking into stores, committing crimes and shit. And this is the part about anime, is like the characters always have to be like super young, like kids, right? You see like 12-year-old, was it 12-year-old? Like when Gohan was like 12-year-old, he not only did he turn Super Saiyan, but he beat up Frieza and shit like that, right? And he beat up Cell, I think like 2 years later? Like a year later? He beat the crap out of Cell. He's only like fucking 12, 13 years old. And you have like adults beating the living shit out of anime characters. But that, I mean, despite of the fact that we know that, you know, anime's still freaking dope as hell though.
Have motorcycles that they ride around, they get in gang fights and shit like that. So the question becomes, why make them middle schoolers? Why keep driving home this idea that these characters are 14 and 15? It just makes it really weird when they do adult shit, like one of the girls trying to fuck one of the guys and she's in like her bra and panties about to have sex. It's weird because they've drilled into you that these are all middle schoolers around.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him on this one.
Here, but they didn't need to be. These could have very easily just been adults. If you took a tally of every single protagonist across every anime ever made, I'd wager about 85% of all main characters in anime are 15 years old. That is the most common age of every...
Actually, he's kind of right. I mean, Naruto started out at 14 years old and ninja kicking ass. And then Naruto Shippuden, he's actually 16 because it's 2 years later. Right? In Kingdom Hearts, Sora is 14. Riku is 16. And we never see Sora's parents.
Every character of every major anime, it feels like. But it never plays a role in anything, them being kids. You know, it's not like that's ever an actual point in these shows, like, oh, fuck, I can't go to this gang fight because I have to go do my algebra homework, otherwise my parents are going to spank me, and dad's going to bring out the belt and take away my PlayStation. The characters being children is always just so useless because they could have easily just been adults and it wouldn't have taken away from anything. It's just weird. I don't really get it. And what really prompted me to make this video, or make me want to make this video over the last week or so, is I'm watching a currently airing anime called Platinum End, and it's dog shit. It is an actual pair of bull nuts. It's terrible. But I'm watching it because it's made by the creator of Death Note, so I at least gave it a chance. And I'm going to finish it just because I've already watched so much of it, but it's not good. But one thing that really was like drove home this idea of what is the point of making the characters kids is there's a, I guess, but I don't think you should watch it, so I wouldn't really worry about spoilers. I'm doing you a favor, if anything. One of the main bad guys is a kid. He's a middle schooler, and he has the ability to control the minds, basically, of anyone he shoots with an arrow, and he uses the arrow on a middle school girl. And she gets shot with this love arrow, and what she does is she just starts fucking other middle school girls. And they show her, like, almost fully nude, making out with middle school girls about to fuck them, finger blast them, you know, go wild.
I gotta agree with him on this one. Especially if you're from the West in America. It can be a little disturbing at times.
It shows you that in the show. And it's super weird because they keep driving home this idea constantly that that is a middle schooler. She is 13 or 14, whatever, years old. They even in the show, they call her the middle school serial killer because she's a middle schooler, and after she fucks the girls, she kills them. It's just super creepy because they are establishing that this is a child that we almost watch have sex with another child in the show. Now, of course, it's all cartoons. It's sorry, can't use the C word here when talking about anime. People get.
Oh man, I like how he censored himself, saying calling an anime a cartoon. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy.
Very upset. It is a 2D animation. I understand they're not real kids or anything, but that doesn't make it any less creepy. It could have just easily been avoided if these were adults, because they could have been. Again, in Platinum End, the school doesn't have any effect at all. The only thing the school has done is establish that the main character's been bullied, but he could have also just been an adult who had been bullied throughout his entire life in school. I don't think there's been a single scene in this entire show that has been at the school other than at the very front where he was hiding in the background. So them being in school is useless because it is never a part of the actual show. Them being 14 and 15. They could just be adults and it wouldn't be weird. You could have adult characters instead of kids doing these adult things, these sexual things, you know? And I'm not saying every single anime has to be like 40-year-old grizzled war veterans for characters or anything, but there's a lot of shows where them being kids is just a completely useless plot point.
Honestly, I think that, at least for Tokyo Revengers, the characters should be like 17, 18, early 20s, right? I think it will make it a little better.
And because it doesn't actually play a role in the plot. Them being kids doesn't matter, like the two examples I just gave you.
By the way, I'm going to explain why so many animes take place in high school after this video.
But then there are shows where it does matter that they're kids. Something like Assassination Classroom, right? They are kids in class. They're at school. The majority of that show takes place in a school setting. So obviously there's still a lot of shows where them being kids is actually important to the story and couldn't work with them being older. So I'm not saying everything in anime needs to be adults only. That's just called hentai, I suppose. I'm just saying there's a lot of shows where the characters are kids just because they wanted to make them children for no reason, but then they still want them to like fucking things, which makes it really uncomfortable to watch because they could have just made them adults. I've said that like 20 times by now, but
yeah, very repetitive, bro.
There are really just so many shows where I'll sit there and watch it and I'm like, damn, this is a good show. And then it's like, but why are they kids? What was the point? What did that add to this? I just don't really get it. And that's just my main thing I don't like about anime.
Honestly, I think, that's something that I don't really like about anime either, but it doesn't take away from how amazing it is.
Not like I'm over here, slapping a Bible and saying we gotta ban anime because think of the kids or whatever. But it is weird. Like, it is just kind of embarrassing. But yeah, I just wanted to toss this out there. It's not like I'm canceling my Crunchyroll subscription, I'm burning my manga and destroying my anime Blu-rays or anything like that. I'm still gonna keep watching anime. The fucking Jujutsu Kaisen movie is one of my most anticipated movies that I can even think of. I'm super hyped for that. I just wanted to at least put this out there, just because I've been thinking about it since I've been watching that garbage Platinum End. And I mentioned it on stream once, so I figured might as well make a video talking about it. That's about it. So yeah.
Your body's only...
All right. Okay, by the way, guys, please do not go to his YouTube channel, okay? Do not go to his YouTube channel and start leaving negative comments. This is just something. Wait, what did it skip? I think that's an ad, I think. So the reason why a lot of manga artists, a lot of anime take place in high school is because in Japan, so they say that high school and being in school and being young, that's one of the best times of their lives, because they say that they have a lot of freedom, right? Apart from school, they have a lot of freedom because once they become adults, 18 or in their early 20s, the real world, slaps them in the face. And it's like working in Japan kind of sucks. And I love Japan, but the only thing I ever complain about Japan is the work life, right? That's one of the reasons why I love going to Japan, but I would not like to work there. Working in Japan really sucks unless you own your own business, unless you're like a freelancer or something like that, right? That you're working for yourself. But in Japan, they kind of romanticize their young life in high school because they were happy and they didn't have so many like worries. So it's kind of they romanticize, right? Because once you become an adult, you just work, and work, and that's almost everything they do. You heard about the salarymen in Japan, the workaholics. People fall asleep on the train, people fall asleep on the street, people fall asleep everywhere in Japan. You've seen it, right? You've seen it. And damn it, why the hell is it here?
This is a video.
You've seen it time and time again, right? So I think this is one of the reasons, according to my research, why there's so many high school anime. Okay, and you can also check out Trash Taste or go to Garnt or the Anime Man's channel. I think Akideras even. But yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why a lot of anime take place in high school, where the characters tend to be young, because they kind of just romanticize that idea of being back in those days in high school, middle school, where they were actually happy. They had a lot of freedom, and all they had to do was just go to school, do your homework, and then after school, you would do all these activities and shit, right? So anyways, that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. Again, please do not go to penguinz0's YouTube channel and attack him, leave negative comments. I'm just kind of like, just going over the things that he said about his own popular opinion. This is Andy Matrix. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Andy Matrix. Godspeed.